Hey folks, thanks for tuning in to another episode. It's been a little while. We're out here on the beautiful Lake Francis Case, one of the larger reservoirs in the whole U.S. Over 100 miles long, 500 plus miles of shoreline. We're going to fish on the bottom third of it today. Fish everywhere. You can pretty much catch them from one end to the other right now. They tend to kind of migrate to the southern part of the reservoir as the summer progresses, and it's early July. And we're going to see if we can't go scope up some walleye. It's been a really good year here. A lot of 19 to 22 inch fish, 18 to 22 inch fish, and they're really healthy. So tough fishing the previous year. Kind of gave these fish a year off from pressure. A lot of bait in the system. Most of that died over the winter, so they're chewing. And I think we're just ahead of some of the bait fish hatching. The mayflies may be hatching. But the water's pretty clean. We've had a lot of wicked weather over the last week, a lot of storms, so we'll see what it's done to the water temp and clarity. But the place usually runs pretty clean and doesn't get too disturbed because it's a big reservoir. So, if it's a little dirty in one spot, it's not too hard to go, move a bay or whatever over, a little bit further upriver, possibly, or even further down. So it gets pretty deep, well over 100 foot on the lower end down here by the dam. But today we're going to try to scope some. Maybe we'll pull some trees. We're going to start with some bay fishing. Been a pretty good bite, scoping these fish in the bay. They're suspended walleyes. Or there's a plethora of fish in the trees, and that tree bite starts in kind of mid-June. It'll go through, all the way into the fall, August, maybe in September. I don't get here very often. One of my favorite fisheries. I just don't get to come here very often for only living a couple hours away. So we're going to go out today and just play around, try to scope them. Maybe we'll go pull some trees. Great way to catch them is trolling these trees or pulling live bait through them. You can also scope them in these trees real well as well. So hopefully we can share that screen with the Garmin, the active captain on it, and share some of that kind of to show you how it is that we live scope a lot of these suspended fish out here on Lake Francis Case. So stay tuned. Okay, so it appears that there's a lot of bait in here all of a sudden. And or maybe mayflies. There's also a lot of fish. You can see that one. I just went right by him. Not interested. A crawler might be the ticket if those are mayflies. Definitely some walleyes right there. Those are some pretty good ones. See that one at 30 feet and he ain't moving much. That ain't a bad thing. There he is. Nice 18 incher. I knocked the rod out of my hand when I set the hook. I didn't. Got a bum elbow. So they're pretty active down there this morning for sure. So we just had another boat roll in right here on us. It's nice, about 18 incher, 17. Head healthy, good color. Get her back. All right, so you can see there's a ton of bait down there. These could be mayflies. Could be the young of the shad just hatched here too. We're, still in 20 feet, but we're pretty much in the back of a bay. But there's a lot of fish, a lot of carp and stuff. Those really big blobs, or not walleye. You're looking for more of those individual ones that aren't moving a lot, that are just kind of sitting there. Real hard return sometimes with that diamond look. I think that's their head aiming at you. But there's a lot down there. So with all this bait fish, I don't know, they seem to be eating. We've had a couple bites, just we made a few casts, so let's keep at it. Man, I had to work for that guy. But I threw at this sucker 8-9 times before we got him to go. Another nice 18 incher, good healthy, good looking fish. Here's the menu today. That one's a little trashed. A big old fat juicy crawler and a jig. So this here is just a 3/16 VMC tungsten. As you know by now, tungsten shows up a little better on LiveScope just because it's a little bit more dense, but it's not a necessity. You can use whatever you want. Not much wind today, so getting by with the 3/16 pretty good. Easily could probably use an 1/8 up to 3/8. So we're getting a little deeper, and then off the 3/8, I'll hit those two. Had a few bites, missed them on the Z-Man jerk shad. This is at a 1/4 ounce with a deep V on it. That thing is always good. Got some gold eyes on the old Berkeley finisher. And we haven't quite yet, but we will be throwing the number 7 Rapala jig and wrap. Hard to beat a blue and chrome. Black gold, it's sunny. Water's clean. Anything with a little flash chrome, black gold, blue chrome, white's always good out here. A real good bait. So get back at it. We're going to throw some more jig and crawler. The jig and crawler seems to be working best. I had another good one when I set the hook. It broke. So apparently I had a bad knot or a nick in it. Right over here in the same spot. So there's a few active fish, and see if we can't get another one. So this guy, a little smaller, still a nice 17-incher. I was reeling it up fast to get away from some of the little bites I was getting. And that is feisty. So we're using a St. Croix physics rod. This is 610 medium light extra fast. This soft tip on this longer jigging rod is great for this jig and crawler presentation. So it allows them, these bigger ones, you gotta let them take it a little bit. So when it loads up, that tip of this rod is just light enough that they're not gonna feel it, and you can let it load, and then you can get a good hook set real quick with the extra fast tip and a strong backbone. And these physics, as you can see on these handles, are perfect for the scoper. You know, when you're making your cast and you want to be pinpoint accurate, you can put that thing straight ahead and whip it out there. It gives you a nice little place to pivot your other hand. Makes super accurate casts, which is extremely important, especially on these suspended fish. Like I said, throw past them a little bit if you need to, and then reel it up to them. But when you're going to fall short, you're going to be short. Sometimes they'll come chasing it, but more often than not, they're not going to move too far. You got to put it right on their nose. So you're better off overshooting them and then bringing it back. I don't like to bring it back directly behind them because it tends to spook them. Bring it up and then down. And as they see that bait falling down, usually if the fish reacts going up, those are the ones I'm usually going to catch. You know, and if they don't move at all, throw it again, throw it again, throw it again. Give it a couple, 3 shots at it. Sometimes your bait's just got to be perfect, and you can get them to turn or react to it. You got a good chance of catching them. If he just swims away, move on to the next one. A little guy, but healthy. So. Jigging a crawler is all we can really get going today. They're chasing the other baits, but I'm just not committing to them. So, probably 16.5, 17-incher. Sure is fun. Yeah, a little bit better. We had 3 of them there. Just a matter of which one was going to bite. There we go. And as you can see, that boy took it down the throat a little bit. It's actually just right in the back roof of his mouth. There we are. That's what we're looking for. It's a nice 20-incher. Beautiful Francis Case Lake. Walleyes, healthy. Probably 2.6. Yep, 20 and a half. That's what I thought. So good looking fish. There's a lot of them out here, folks. A lot that size. The scoping stuff really isn't too hard. You know, give it a lot of practice. Come out to a target-rich environment. This is pretty good. There's not a lot of them in this area, but there's no bait, so getting a little bit better bite ratio. I don't have the whole competition, but it looks like there's less fish, but there's some bigger marks. But be patient. You need a lot of targets because maybe 1 out of 20 is gonna actually bite you. So there's not a lot of fish around. Move around until you find a few more fish. You got to give yourself a lot of targets to throw at. And then when you're first getting it going, just kind of throw at everything, whether it's drum or catfish or gar or walleye, whatever the case is. Just work on getting that jig in their face, letting them feed it or whatever kind of bait you're using and getting good hex sets. Then start working on identifying your target species, and then work on identifying what that species looks like on your LiveScope. So that's the key. And then obviously not just what it looks like, but the size of it. So putting that thing in that grid pattern, super, important to help you with size. I mean, we're seeing a lot of big blobs that are taking up, 2/3 of the square, and the square is 5 feet. So I'm pretty sure those aren't walleye. Occasionally, there is a great big one in there that's going to give you a good, take up over half of it. And you just got to stick with it. Just patience and grind, but practice makes perfect. And that's the only way you're going to get better at the scoping game is just get your head down, put your face in it, and put just a ton of time behind it. And then record some of your screenshots, go back and look at it later and just kind of start dissecting what it is you're looking at. And you kind of learn how much these fish react and they move. And I tell you what, they're in places we didn't think they were, and they move a lot more than we thought they did. So patience is the key, and practice. He's a little guy, and he looked like a little guy. I just happen to have a little bit of crawler left, so I thought I'd throw it at him. Still, good eater, 16-incher. They're on the chew here. That was the biggest. It's another 18.5-incher. Another eater, another 16-incher. He looked a lot bigger, but same deal. There was 2 of them, and they came up quick and competed for it. As we wrap this day up, man, I got a hell of a shadow. Anywho, that's Lake Francis case. LiveScoping, jig and crawler was hands down what they wanted today. A lot of chasing the jerk shads and other things, but just didn't get any walleyes on them. So when all else fails, throw a crawler out there. First spot, caught a quick fish, a lot of bait, a lot of competition, a lot of drum I think were in there as well. as you can see on some of those screenshots. Unfortunately, my phone was getting too hot to keep out to run those the LiveScope screenshots. So, but you get the point. There was a lot of fish, need to be around a lot of targets. Next spot, less bait, few fish, caught a couple there. This last spot we hit here, not much bait. When you found bait, there was a lot of fish, but there was very minimal bait, and not as many fish, but pretty much mostly walleyes and a few bigger ones. So sometimes you got to get away from that bait to get into those hungry fish, because these fish over here with less bait are definitely biting a lot better. It's July, it's hot, it's mid-afternoon now, with water temps are in the mid to upper 70s. They're probably just going to get a little warmer here on out, but it's tough to beat a jig and a crawler this time of year, but mix it up. Keep those finishers, those plastics, the jig and wrap, great time to be jig and wrapping. Some days you're going to get them good. I like a little more wind when I'm jig and wrapping and on points and structure, but you can still catch them suspended. So mix it up. Have 3 or 4 rods ready to go and just keep throwing at them until you see what they want, and that's what you need to feed them. So thanks for tuning in to this episode, guys. We're at Lake Francis Case out here in beautiful South Dakota on the Missouri River. Love this place, and I hope to get out here again soon. So stay safe, and we'll see you on the water.